For more than 100 years, it has been the job of Colorado Parks and Wildlife to manage all the state's wildlife. Surprisingly, throughout the early history of the agency, it wasn't big game that received primary attention. It was fish. The agency has probably spent more time and energy on fish culture and artificial rearing of fish than any other single activity. Colorado's first hatchery was built in Denver in 1881. As Colorado's population grew, the demand for more fish increased, and other hatcheries and production units were built. Today, Colorado Parks and Wildlife operates 19 fish hatcheries located around the state. While most of the hatcheries produce rainbow trout and rainbow hybrids, some raise native cutthroat trout. Other hatcheries specialize in warm water species, such as bass, crappie, and catfish. These include 3 facilities that produce both warm water and cool water species, such as walleye, white bass, and wipers, which are planted in reservoirs at lower elevations. And 1 facility that specializes in non-game native species, such as small fishes and amphibians, including the boreal toad. There are 13 hatcheries and fish rearing units dedicated to fulfilling anglers' high demand for trout species. Not only does the hatchery system have the capability of raising trout to various sizes, but it also produces the eggs. To do this, some facilities rely on brood fish, mature male and female fish that are kept in raceways and ponds at various hatcheries year-round. The brood fish range from 2 to 4 years in age and are artificially spawned in the hatcheries. Hatchery technicians extract the eggs from the females, then add milt from the males to fertilize the eggs. Fertile eggs are taken into the hatchery, where they are rinsed, sorted, and counted. If trout were left to spawn naturally, only about 3% of the eggs would survive in the wild. In a hatchery, that number rises to more than 85%. Once the eggs have developed eyes, they are placed in incubators, where they hatch and grow into fry. The fry are placed in tanks, where they will remain until they are large enough to be placed in rearing ponds. During the rearing stage, the small trout are fed a special pellet formula by automated feeders or by hand. Pellets are available for hatchery visitors to feed the fish. Some fry are stocked into certain waters as fingerlings, where they will grow into mature fish as if they were wild. Others are kept in the rearing ponds until they grow to catchable size, approximately 10 inches in length. Catchable-sized trout stocked into ponds and lakes play an important role in providing angling opportunities in places where there would be none. The eggs for other species, such as native cutthroat trout, brown trout, walleye, and kokanee salmon, do not come from native brood fish. Instead, they come from wild fish. North Delaney Butte Lake is one of Colorado's gold medal waters and is the site of the annual brown trout spawn. In early October, a large tent is set up on the shoreline to house the spawning operation. Overnight, brown trout are captured in large traps and then transported to holding cages, where biologists separate the males and females. Inside the tent, biologists squeeze the females, releasing their eggs into a pan. Next comes milt from the males to fertilize the eggs. After the eggs are fertilized, technicians gently stir them using goose or wild turkey feathers to prevent damage. When ready, the eggs are placed into water coolers containing a mild iodine solution to harden the eggs. After rinsing, the eggs are transported to the Poudre River Fish Hatchery. At the hatchery, the eggs are rinsed, sorted, and counted, then placed in incubators, where they remain until they develop eyes. Once in the eyed stage, the eggs are taken to various other hatcheries and rearing units, where they will continue to grow until they are ready for stocking. Native Rio Grande cutthroat trout are spawned from wild fish that inhabit a private lake located in the upper Rio Grande Valley. Kokanee salmon make their spawning runs in fall. Mature fish from Blue Mesa Reservoir swim up the Gunnison and East Rivers to the Roaring Judy hatchery. Arctic grayling eggs are gathered from wild fish that are captured from mountain streams during their annual spawning runs. Walleye eggs are collected from mature fish that live in Front Range reservoirs. The walleyes are captured in nets placed along dams. After the eggs are fertilized, they are taken to a warm water hatchery. Channel catfish are spawned from brood fish, which are kept in ponds at the Los Animas hatchery. After the female catfish deposits her egg mass in a submerged barrel, the male fertilizes the eggs, then stands guard over the mass, protecting them from predators. The fertilized eggs are then taken into the hatchery, where they will be raised to various sizes. Each year, biologists survey rivers and lakes to assess fish populations and to record their numbers and sizes. The biologists use a method called electrofishing to capture fish in a stream. The mild electric shock stuns the fish temporarily, so they may be netted and taken streamside where they are weighed and measured. Biologists use this data to determine how many fish of each species they need to stock, and then they submit their request to the hatcheries. There are more than 2,000 natural lakes in Colorado and an additional 800 reservoirs. Add to this some 9,500 miles of trout streams, and one gets an idea of the staggering job it is to fill the needs of anglers. Fish are transported to various waters by hatchery workers and volunteers using a variety of methods, including large trucks and small trucks. Many native trout fingerlings make the journey to backcountry waters in ATVs or carried in by foot in backpacks. Some district wildlife managers transport native fingerlings into high country waters on horseback. The small fish are carried in oxygen-filled bags to remote streams and lakes in wilderness areas. These native Rio Grande cutthroat are headed for a high valley in southern Colorado. Small airplanes fitted with special tanks have been used to stock fish since the mid-1940s. Pilots have to fly as slow as 70 to 80 miles per hour and as low as 75 feet above the water. Too high, and the small fish dry out during the fall, and larger fish could be killed on impact. One pilot alone can now stock many remote lakes in a single morning. Supplying fish is a major part of managing Colorado's aquatic resources. But another important role is monitoring and protecting the health of all Colorado's aquatic wildlife and aquatic systems. Located in Brush, Colorado, the Aquatic Animal Health Laboratory provides a variety of in-house support and diagnostic services. Scientists at the lab perform DNA testing and water quality testing, in addition to assisting in fish culture, fisheries management, and invasive species screening. The lab must approve all live fish before they can be transported into the state. Colorado's fish hatcheries welcome visitors. Many offer self-guided tours, and some have tour guides available certain times of the year. Visit the Colorado Parks and Wildlife website for a complete list of the hatcheries and their contact information.